Welcome you guys into my nice beautiful video here. Understanding what's important every single day is focusing upon understanding that when you're communicating every single day in a better way, you will understand your I, you'll know the I, and then you understand every single day that you're going to go and do something for business today, and that you're going to go and do some communicational work where you can go help people every single day, because that's the foundation of understanding that if you want to travel the world today in terms of 2021, and you want to go around the world public speaking or music production around the world or anything that you want to do, you have to understand every single day you have to go and become much more talenting in terms of you have to have more talents and skills to understand that you have to give a live performance in front of people eventually, so that you understand that eventually, for example, let's say you live in Sydney, Australia. I mean, what you have to do in Sydney, Australia is give a live performance everywhere, as much as you can in Sydney, Australia, so that people recognize you much more. So what are you doing with your plastic money here? You have to understand with your plastic money that you get from a 9-to-5 job or that you get from life, I mean, go and invest it into these places for free and go somewhere where you can give a live event for free first. I realize although that sometimes people do advertise with their plastic money because they want to go to a hotel and they want to give $100 so they can get some chairs and all that, and so that people are setting up the event for them. I realize although that what's amazing every single day is call up everybody in Sydney and try to give a live event for free. You understand? I mean, go in your local area today and try to give something of a live performance about something you love to do. Because if you have no talents and abilities to be able to go and give a live performance, you have to start acquiring those skills. You have to understand that if you love to do something, you have to do it in front of people. I mean, you eventually have to understand that those people who want to play guitar have to also play the guitar and sing. Or else now since they're playing guitar and singing, whereas now, they can either become a music producer altogether, or they can go and hire somebody to give them plastic money to sing a duet with them in a live concert somewhere, or you have to understand either way that they can go solo and they can go around the world traveling. And what happens is, or else they have to call people, you understand? Or else they have to call everybody at bars and restaurants and everywhere to come sing. I mean, you understand? So you have to call for free and just ask to give a free performance because you want to boost your name today and you want to be able to give a live performance somewhere. So understand these individuals who start off with a guitar eventually have to do it in front of an audience as well, or else they have to play a guitar in front of an audience, because what's the point of playing just in front of yourself? I mean, you have to understand that you have to go and do it with yourself all day long, but go do it with yourself in front of other people as well. Or is that what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that when you're really coaching somebody to succeed every single day, you're going to be understanding that there's always something much better to do. So focus upon understanding that there's a better life for you right now. When you have a better life, you're focusing on something that you love to do daily, because what you love to do daily is something that really helps you. I understand either way that what's amazing is my nice beautiful video camera. I understand every single day, I just focus upon understanding that my life is much more successful when I'm communicating with myself all day long. So I'm focusing on my life to understand that whatever I'm doing daily is something that never makes me arrogant. Or else now, what makes me arrogant in life? Or else now, what makes me arrogant in life is when I have to go seek pleasure from a woman, or when I have to go masturbate, or when I have to go do something. Although I never masturbate, I never try to go seeking pleasure, because I understand Jesus Christ. And now I have before done the masturbation and seeking pleasure and sex and all that with women. I promise you all that what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that when you're staying away from pleasure and when you're staying away from all these people who are trying to go and do pleasure activities, when they're trying to do pleasure activities every single day, you have to focus upon understanding that once you stay away from the physicality of aspects of life, where you have to understand masturbation for guys is like this or something like that. Although you must understand that it's more, you understand that they have to be physical like that. I mean, you understand? And women have to do the other way around. I mean, guess what? Or else that when you have to do that all day long, or else you get lonely. I mean, you have nothing else to do except for that. Or sure that, guess what? Or else what's amazing is go do yourself without that, because that way you're going to open up a new opportunity, because it takes time to do all that. I mean, understand? So nobody has time for that in life. Whereas now you have to understand that when you let go of the physical aspects of doing something, so when you walk less throughout time, and when you are chasing other people less throughout time, and when you're carrying less in terms of physicality, or as you're carrying 20 kilos less on you over time, or as you're going to feel happier. I mean, you understand? I mean, carrying 100 kilos with you every single day on your back is the same thing as chasing other people physically. I mean, how? I mean, guess what? Or else you have to drive to them 2 hours to get there, or else now you have to drive 2 hours back, or else that's physical. I mean, that's 4 hours of your day. I mean, that's like carrying 100 kilos. I understand? I mean, every single day you have to do that. I mean, you never have to do it in the first place. I mean, or else nobody's forcing you to go to a nightclub and to go with other people except yourself. So I understand that, for example, myself before, I used to be calling all these people, and or else when I was calling all these people, I was always making sure that either way, I was making sure that I can go and really benefit myself in another way, so I can learn another skill. So, for example, with my microphone here, I see that the wind is actually blowing this time round in this nice beautiful setting over here, but I understand either way that I do have my nice beautiful privacy over here so I can do my content. I understand although that what's amazing is you may hear some wind blowing from my portable speaker, but I understand I'm never doing that purposefully. I'm just here doing my nice beautiful content while the wind is actually trying to blow on my nice beautiful microphone. But that's why it's blowing from this end, but then I want to try to block the actual wind from actually getting into the microphone piece, because what's important is every single day understanding that no matter what, I just talk over the wind, I talk over everything, I talk over the noise. I mean, when I do that every single day, I focus upon understanding that there's always something better to do. So that's why I'm always looking for a way to make sure that you can go and be much more spiritual with your life, and so that you can do something much more with your life. I promise you all that what you can do every single day is focus on go get yourself a sock or something like that. I promise you now, when you get yourself a sock, you put the sock over the actual microphone piece, and then guess what? Or is that now you have a nice beautiful chance where you can understand that, for example, when you do that, you also have a chance to go and block the sound, for example, from the audio, in terms of never block the audio sound, but block the wind with the sock. So the sock can actually go around the actual microphone head, and then you put an elastic band. So make sure you cut it up, for example, and then make a nice, make a nice beautiful head where the actual wind can actually never actually touch your actual microphone piece. I'll just show you a quick difference between the microphone with the sock and without the microphone. So this is, this is a microphone. That's the microphone without a sock on it. So when the wind's blowing, or else it'll blow into this microphone head, or else then you can actually hear the wind. Guess what? Or else when I put a sock, for example, I put a sock over it. Whereas now, there's no more wind. There's no more wind that's actually going to blow into the microphone head. So guess what you do? I have a nice beautiful way of saying that. All you do is just place a sock over your actual microphone, and it's the funniest aspect of life. So guess what? You make sure every single day you just bring one clean sock, because I understand this sock over here has some dirt on it. So every single day focus upon understanding that what's amazing is understand I'm still doing my work. I'm still doing something that's amazing. So understand every single day that what's amazing every single day is focus upon going and really, really speaking out the truth. But understand now I have a way to be able to speak on a microphone just with a sock like this, where I understand that no longer will the actual wind come into my microphone piece. And it's a beautiful way and a method to understand that you never have to go to JB Hi-Fi or these Kmart or Big W in Australia, or the supermarkets where you can go and get electronics, where you can go and cover the piece of the microphone head. Just cover it with a sock, as I just done, and just put the sock on. You never even need elastic bands or anything. You never even have to cut your sock up so that you can always tag it like that. In a sense, so what's amazing is just always grab one sock with you and just place it on. Understand? And that's how you really, really do anything. So every single day, it's so funny. So you make sure every single day that what's important is, if you go, for example, public speaking in front of an audience, you have to understand that what's amazing is if you bring two microphones with you at an event where you're busking in terms of life, and let's say you're doing it silently, you must understand that at a silent event, you must always understand that you're just going to promote yourself. But if you're going around people and you want to interview people specifically at your events, so let's say you live in Sydney, but you have 4 places you have to go to. It's never busking performances, but it's like a hotel, but this one's a workers club. And now guess what? Now you can bring your microphones and you can bring your own portable speaker. And now what you can do is you can also bring, for example, modules of, let's say, a DI module, where you can grab all these microphones and you can amplify the sound of the Nice Beautiful seminar at the actual event, and then you can actually talk to people just with your Nice Beautiful portable speaker, so everybody can hear you in the room. Alright, do you understand? So you never have to rely on actually their type of information and what they have out there, or you don't have to rely in terms of what they have over there. But what you have to understand, that what's amazing is rely on information products so that you can go and be the best version of yourself. So focus on understanding that now I'm giving you a much better audio here, because I never have to worry about the wind anymore. It's such a big, nice, beautiful help where I can go and understand that I always have a way and a method to understand I can do much better quality videos now. So understand every single day, focus upon understanding that there's always a better way to do what you want to do. So focus upon always lifting people, because that's the only definition of success. And every single time you're lifting people in a different way, you're going to find new ways and tactics to strategize yourself into glory and fame and fortune and growth and everything that you ever want in Jesus Christ. I promise you, every single day, focus upon the word I, because that's all you ever want. You just want your word I. I promise you, that's what Jesus is only teaching you, is the word I. I promise you, every single day, focus upon understanding that everything you ever want in life is just the word I, and make that your goal every single day. Your goal today is just to have the word I, and that you can increase it. I promise you, that's it. I promise you, every single day you do that. I promise you, I'm always doing that, and that's why I'm always successful. I'm successful in ways that I understand how I'm doing it. I can see how I'm doing it. I understand now that what's important is understanding that when you're planning throughout life, you're going to be planning for 6 years ahead of time and 10 years ahead of time. You're going to actually see what's going to happen before it even happens. So be ready for that. I mean, be understanding that, for example, Steve Irwin has a plan for the next 15 years on what he wants people to do. I understand. So all his lifetime, or else he says, I want you guys to do this, if anything shall happen. In a sense, so every single day, focus upon understanding that my beautiful life coaching plans is already planning. I'm already planning your life ahead of you. I'm telling you already in a way of how I live my life. So what you do in your life is understand that when you want to understand me, you just go do something that I never do. I mean, understand? So when I stay away from KFC, you stay away from KFC. I mean, understand? I mean, is that simple? But you may say, oh, but you love KFC. You must understand either way. I love KFC too. I love everything in terms of life, but understand either way. You must understand that what's important is let's get away from the KFC because they're killing chickens, or else they hate chickens. I mean, why do you want to stand for that? I mean, why do you want to hate, or else why do you want to hate chickens for? I mean, in a sense, so every single day focus upon being vegan, because that's how I love animals much more. Or else now, how do you pet a dog but then you eat the dog? I mean, how do you do that? I mean, how does that make sense to you? I mean, you pet the dog, but you kill the cow. I mean, why is the cow so much? I mean, why do you hate the cow so much that you never ever kill a dog then? I mean, understand? I mean, why is the cow so special that you want a dog as your companion but never a cow? I mean, why? I mean, why do you love the dog more than the cow? I mean, why don't you love the cow equally like the dog? I mean, in a sense, so every single day, focus upon understanding that there's always somehow that you can lift people. Whereas when you're lifting people in your communication, you're looking to plan your life ahead of you. You're looking to actually go into your life, for an example, and understand how to give those examples so that other people can go and prosper and be much more beneficial about what they're doing daily. So focus upon understanding how you can do that daily, and make sure every single day that you're doing something for nothing, in terms of you're making sure every single day you're doing it for free, and that way you're going to be doing something. The whole point of life is making sure you're always prospering and abundance, and you have all this nice, beautiful spirituality in your life. I mean, now, how do I get spirituality in my life? And what is the differences between my life and making sure that I can go and lead people? Now, when I go and lead people in a different way every single time, I find the difference of life that I can help you with. Now, every single time I do something that helps you, I'm always looking for a new conclusion. And now when I find a conclusion, I find my word I, and then I make sure I continue the conversation in a different way. So if you get argumentative with me, then I am less likely to talk to you. I mean, do you understand? Because what happens with an arguing type of individual, where I'm teaching you something to lift you up, but you're criticizing me in a negative way, that's an argument. I mean, understand? A debate is when somebody is for the winner, but others are for the loser. I mean, that's a debate. I mean, understand? But a real debate and a real argument and a real controversial, let's say, conversation with people is when two parties or everybody in the actual home or everybody in the world is just lifting each other up. Whereas now, look at the parrots, for example. Whereas the parrots go on the tree, the birds. Whereas they go on the tree and they start, whereas they start singing all day long. Whereas everything is lifting in that tree. I mean, understand? I mean, the tree is humongous and they have a home and everything is never violence. But anything that's a debate and anything that's violence and anything that's an argument today is more criticizing you than anything else. I mean, in a sense, so I'm never criticizing you. I'm always lifting you through the words I say, because that's something of a winner. Whereas anybody who's winning today is somebody who's always trying to deliver you the best kind of deal on the planet. So understand that what's important is understand that if you ever shall get desperate in your life and you want something to cover your hands with, I mean, go and get your socks. I mean, get your socks and put your socks over your hands. And that way you're going to keep warm, at least. I mean, in a sense, so realize that's a survival tactic where you can do that. So if, let's say, a mosquito or something is biting you at the camp and you have some socks, I mean, go and put the socks on your hands. I mean, at least the actual mosquito is never going to start eating you. Or now, what you can do also is sometimes the mosquito goes and eats your ankles. I mean, in a sense, so get yourself some clothing or some towel or something and just wrap it around your ankles. So the mosquito can never actually go to the ankles and bite your skin. So cover your skin as much as you can when there's mosquitoes around, because mosquitoes have your best interest in mind, but they aren't, or else they just want to be able to feed themselves. I mean, in a sense, so realize that what's amazing is understand that you get yourself away from all those places where there's mosquitoes so that you can go and do something that's much better for you. Brunch, when you're doing that, you focus upon understanding that you can always do something that's really helping you move forward. And when you're helping yourself move forward daily, you focus upon understanding how to lift people, because that's the whole point of life. Right? The whole point of life is making sure that you're lifting people and that you're loving your life and that you're understanding every single day that you have something to do, because that's the whole point of life. Brunch, the whole point of life is making sure that you are always lifting. So when you're lifting, you're looking for areas of improvement. You're understanding every single day that you can always go somewhere else if you want. Whereas every single day, focus upon understanding that there's always something more to do than what you're doing today. First, you focus upon ideas. And when you're focusing upon ideas, you're looking to understand that there's always something more that you can do. But understand, no matter what you're doing, that nothing gets in your way when you're communicating over the actual sounds of the background or anywhere around you. So when you're really, really lifting people in a different way, you focus upon understanding your mindset must be better. So when you're really, really reading something and you're doing something that really helps you every single day, you focus upon something that you love to do. And that's the whole point. So understand either way that I understand that no matter what, that I realize that there are people around me that are making noise. So I understand that when people around me making noise, I have to communicate that. I have to communicate everything that I hear and see, and actually I have to be much more honest about it. But I understand either way that what's important is never affect yourself in a way that you can never speak it. You must speak it. You must be able to speak what's being around you. You must be honest. You must be able to give those words, regardless of how much you're afraid. I mean, guess what? You can never be afraid when you're talking. Or else now, as you grow up, you're talking so much, you're running around, and you're just causing a travesty. Understand? And what happens here is understand that every single day you grew up to be somebody. And why is that? Or else now, you grew up around a family that taught you a certain way to be something. Or else although your family is in limits. Or else they have limits. Or else they have limits because why? Or else because they live to a certain type of wisdom right now. And they have to increase that wisdom, but they can only teach you to that point about life. I mean, if they have level 15 wisdom, and they're never a millionaire, but you meet a millionaire who's never your family, but they have level 100 wisdom, or else they have level 100, but your family has level 15. I mean, your family can only teach you to your family can only teach you up to level 15. Understand? Because they have to consciously push themselves to learn level 100. I mean, how do you do that? You give information, and you give information so much that eventually you'll seek out the information you need to become a level 100. I promise you now, those people who grow far more than anybody else are the ones that are growing more. So when you're growing more, you're looking to really move on with the conversation really quickly so that you can keep much more interesting with yourself and so that you can be much more curious. I always love my eye. I love my eye so much so I can go and grow myself in different ways. But understand every single day that if something's bothering you or if something's really getting to you, I mean, you must speak over that. You must understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon something that you love to do and understand that everything's temporary. So this position where I'm giving this video is just temporary, or else it's just for this video and that's it. I mean, I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow. I understand, but what's amazing is I'm here always today. I'm always here today. Or else that what's amazing is I'm always here every single day. I'm here tomorrow, I'm here everything. I'm here all the time. I mean, in a sense, so what's amazing is understand that I say whatever I want to say and it achieves every time I say something. So every single day, focus upon understanding that's a contradiction. And contradiction is something where if I speak it, I may go back on it to elaborate much more on it. I realize that what's amazing every single day is focusing upon understanding that communicational skills is very powerful. So when you have powerful communicational skills, you can help anybody with that communication that you're doing. So understand every single day that now I have a new series with my Nice Beautiful YouTube account where I'm doing questions. I'm doing questions and answer format. Or else now I'm asking so many questions in this video that it helps you to think for yourself. I mean, I'm asking the questions for you. I mean, in a sense, so instead of you having to ask the questions, I'm asking it for you, so that you see how so that you see how I ask the questions, so that you can go and ask the same questions in a different way. Whereas now, once I ask those questions in the video, you then are training yourself to go and answer those questions. So focus upon understanding that there's always something more to do, and focus upon just doing a video and making sure every single day that you have something coming up on YouTube that's going to help people. Because every single day, focus upon understanding that you have to have a sense of authority in life. So when you have a sense of authority, you're looking to understand that you have to compare the differences of everything, and then understand that you have to grow. You have to understand that when growing is a fortune in your life, you understand that every single day you find Jesus Christ, you find the word Bible, you find everything in terms of life, and then you understand why you can actually live your life every single day. But focus on understanding that when I give content like this, and when anything's around you disrupting you, or let's say affecting you, you have to understand to speak over it, because that way it never affects you. I understand. So focus upon understanding that there's always something more to do, but lift yourself with the sound. So when you're hearing the sound in my video, understand I'm lifting myself through that sound. I understand that you are listening to some guy washing the car over there. I understand that. But guess what? I have to speak over that. I still have to listen to it too while I'm actually speaking this. I have to do it too. So I'm doing my best over here. So every single day, focus upon understanding that when I go and really dwell upon something I love to do, I have to re-listen to actually the video anyway. I have to re-listen to the video so I can hear how is that guy actually doing that, because I want to hear the audio for myself, and I want to be able to understand that every single time you can always pause the video and you can always go somewhere else. But for this one, I understand that it's more likely that I just really do myself over here, because I understand I choose this moment. I choose to understand that it's just a way to go for me. Because why? I understand I'm here for the next hour. I'm pretty sure every single day I focus upon understanding that once I come and do my nice beautiful content, I want to do my content fully. I want to be able to go and orchestrate my life in the best way. So when I'm doing that every single day in a different way, I realize I do something that helps me. But what helps me the most is spirituality. So anything that's less physical in life, I love that's the only actual difference. I'm pretty sure when I'm really, let's say, speaking over the sounds, and I'm really never ever trying to, let's say, get affected in a way, I'm never affecting myself and my eye. I'm pretty sure why is that? I'm pretty sure because I go back to the eye anyway. I understand that sounds is something that never, let's say, hurts you. So I always love eye, and that way I understand I never want to hurt myself physically, so that's why I never want to hurt you physically. But anybody who's hurting themselves physically is also hurting others physically. So stay away from people who are hurting people physically, because understand either way that you have to end up like Jesus Christ anyway. Although what's amazing is understand that now when somebody complains against me and when somebody doesn't like me, I just make sure I love them. When you hate me, I love you. Because I never want to turn like you. I never want to hate you like you hate me, because I understand that what's important every single day is lifting people. And when I lift people, I make sure I go inwards. I go into myself, and when I go into myself, I find these new strategies, and I find these new strategies to help you every single day, because I love you. I love everything in this world. I love I the most, and then I make sure every single day I focus on giving you that knowledge that you need every single day, so that I can go and better my life. Now, when I better my life, I'm looking to really understand that it's a big leap of faith where you're giving this knowledge. Or else when you're giving this knowledge, you're giving thousands of hours of knowledge so that you can help people. And now you're going to be doing that alone, but it's actually that leap of faith that you need to succeed in Jesus Christ. So understand that Jesus Christ takes a big leap of faith over here to go and get the disciples and to go do everything that Jesus Christ done in the Bible. I always love I, so I understand every single day. I come back to the I every single day so that I can help elaborate with you about life. So understand every single day that when it's so windy somewhere and so cold for you, and you're actually cold with your hands and everything, you can always leave. I promise you every single day, focus upon understanding that if you feel that you are going to get sick or something, make sure you go to a better spot. So understand that if it's too windy and if there's a tornado going on around you or a tsunami, make sure you are never doing this video around a tsunami that may hit you. Understand that what's important is always love yourself. I always love I. So focus upon understanding that you're never doing this life coaching video around natural disasters and let's say violence around you. Why do you want to be around people who are violent doing this coaching video? Make the best sense of your life and go where it's silence. Focus upon silence around your life, because anywhere where there's noise around you, now that's the place where you're never meant to be. Now the best place that you can be is go somewhere much more quiet, and that way you understand every single day that you have a much more peaceful time with yourself. So that's that's actually the best decision for myself right now, is go somewhere where it's actually so quiet for yourself. Approach every single day. I focus upon understanding that if I get up now to go somewhere else, I understand I never lose momentum. I make sure I'm always communicating myself into greatness, because I understand that what's important is sometimes that once I leave this spot and I never come back into or else when I never come back to a noisy place or somewhere where it's noisy, I make sure every single day I focus upon going somewhere new and going and doing my life, or else I go do my nice, beautiful life coaching video in a better way. So every single day, focus upon understanding that if noise shall arise in your life, talk over it. Be the one who's louder than the ones who are talking. In a sense, so if people are bothering you with sounds, be louder than them in the sounds. In a sense, and that way they'll never bother you. In a sense, so what's amazing, I never care if people are loud. But let's say I have to speak over here, but then someone's going la 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 la. Guess what? Or else that since they're so loud around me, I have to be even louder so that I can speak over them. And now, because I have to speak over them, I have to understand that if I speak over them, I never ever am harassing myself over here. I'm never harassing myself, but if I stop the video and I just go somewhere else to be in silence, I can also do that. Understand? But if I talk over them, or else now it never ever gets to me, or else that sound never gets to me. In a sense, whatever somebody says or is doing around you in sound, or else it never gets to you unless you let it. Or else now, if you let sounds get to you, you then will go to that individual and tell them to shut up. Understand? Or that's what I mean. So never go to other people who are making sounds around you in terms of your videos, and they're around you making these videos in terms of them. They're around you doing sounds around your videos, but never ever try to talk to them, because just focus on yourself and your business and talk louder than them. Understand? Focus on yourself, because that's the only point of recommendation every single day, that you can go and lift yourself. But there's nothing to be afraid of when you're communicating in a better way, because when you're communicating in a better way, you're going to focus upon lifting people. And understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon respecting yourself and other people, and just love I. Actually, you have to understand that when I love I, you have to love your own I. You have to understand that's what I'm talking about every single day. So focus upon understanding that anybody who deserves a greater lifestyle are the ones who are really, really doing the information required, in terms of they're doing the information that's much more in requirements, to make sure that they are fulfilling you with those ideas, so that they are fulfilling themselves. Because what's happening is, when somebody gives you 1 million hours of knowledge, or is that given themselves that? They went and sung, or as they went to seek out all this knowledge to give you, but you're the one just reading that. You still have to go and find your own 1 million hours to give. In a sense, so every single day, focus upon understanding that when I give more than you, I shall also be much more of a blessing than you. Understand? Unfortunately, that's how it is. So focus upon understanding that many people are between the physical and spiritual realm. And now most people are in the physical realm of life. Most people are physical in life. But guess what? You have to understand that this world is much more spiritual than physical. Although what's amazing is understand that when you realize that those people who choose physicality over spirituality are the ones who are serial killers. They're the ones who are Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason. They're the ones who are killing people. Understand why? Because they choose to be physical. They choose to touch you. Now, if you choose to never touch people in the first place, now, that way you're going to be much more eternal in Jesus Christ's nature. Whereas when you become untouchable, or as it means you go the way of the silence, it means go away from other people, or as it means go the way of Jesus Christ, and it also means always in Jesus Christ. Whereas now, anything that's going away from Jesus Christ is becoming Antichrist. So if you masturbate, but Jesus Christ never masturbates, or else it's because you're turning into an Antichrist. And now, Antichrist is somebody who's a serial killer. Whereas now, masturbation makes you a serial killer. You have to understand that. You have to understand that what's amazing is understand that if you do masturbate, you must understand to go back into Jesus Christ's name again. And you have to be choosing Jesus Christ every single day. Approach it's that simple. Approach pleasure seeking and, let's say, drugs. Approach it starts to numb you, and it starts to really, really make you pleasurize life. And people on drugs go and do much more drugs, and then they get much more out of control. And why is that? Because they have no discipline. So they do so much pleasure that they believe that they're God. Or they believe they're something above this world in a way that they can go and hurt your kids. And do you understand? They're delusional, or else they're schizophrenic, or else they're paranoid. In a sense, to realize that those are the people who go and search out for pleasure. I was one of them. I was one of those schizophrenics where from the age of 16 to the age of 19, I was doing weed and drugs. I understand? And then from the age of 19 to 21, I stopped drugs for a bit. I mean, and guess what? I never do drugs again, but I understand either way. Then I restarted before. Or now, because I restarted before, I understand either way. I go back to the I now. Or that what's amazing is every single day, focus upon understanding that from the age 22 to about 23, I understand I started to get overweight, but then I started a bit of drugs before. Whereas now, because I did that, I understand that I just telling you, and then I understand either way, I let it go I let it go fully. I understand. So what is amazing is it's been over 7 years now since I've been touching drugs. I mean, in a sense, so you must understand in terms of illegal drugs. Virtually now, you must understand that it's more. I understand that when I really expose everything, I've already done that. Virtually, it's more that I understand that the weed and the ecstasy pills and the cocaine and all that, I realize I just throw in the bin. I make sure I understand that is the physical realm. And now the physical realm is something of suffering. Virtually, drugs, in terms of anything that's from this world, anything that you can touch will make you suffer. I understand? Virtually, will make you suffer. And why is that? Because you can touch it. I understand? Virtually now, when you can touch it, or else you can also hurt yourself. I love that. Or else now, when you see a knife, or else when you touch a knife like this on the sharp point, or else it will cut you. Or else it will cut you, and it doesn't care about you. Or else it never cares about you. I understand? So this world, in terms of the physicality of this world, never cares about you. I understand? And now the spiritual dome always cares about you. Or else now, if you go and see a spiritual knife where you can never touch it, or else how can it ever hurt you? I mean, I may see an invisible knife over here, but I may go, wow. I may try to touch the actual point of the actual spiritual knife, but my hand just goes through the knife. I understand? Or else it never really hurts me, does it? I mean, why is that? Because let's say the point of the tip is right here of the knife, but I go, ugh. I mean, I never get cut. I mean, why is that? Because the knife is invisible, but I can see it. I understand? I can see it, but it's invisible. And now, because it's invisible, or else that's eternal, or else it's something that you can never touch. So, for example, the air that you're breathing, or else it can never hurt you. I mean, air can never hurt you. I understand? Or else now, what's amazing is if you try to commit suicide, for example, you may try to hold your breath, for example. Or else now, that's physical. I mean, that's a physical realm, but air alone never hurts you. I understand? Or now, understand that anything alone can never hurt you unless you have to understand that what's amazing is if you try to touch anything from this world, it can hurt you. I understand? Or else if I go to hit my camping chair now, or else it can hurt me, or else it can cut me. Or else now, you must understand that if I try to slice the air right now, or else it never hurts me. I mean, if I try to, let's say, punch the water, or else now the water is physical, and now the water is something that can hurt you. I understand? Or else now, understand either way that water is liquid, and water is from this world. I understand? But what's amazing is to understand that every single day you focus upon understanding that water can hurt you. Or else if you go underwater, I mean, guess what? Or else if you don't come back to breathe some air, or else it can hurt you. Understand? Or else now understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon the silence, for example. I mean, how does the silence ever hurt you? First, the silence can never hurt you. I mean, how do these words ever hurt you? First, these words can never hurt you either. First, now, how does my image hurt you? First, my image can never hurt you either. First, we're all eternal like this. But understand that people are suffering because they're too physical. I mean, now, when people are too physical, you must get away from physicality. You must understand to get away from people who are acting tough and physical. And if you touch my wife, bro, I'll slap you, I'll hit you. I mean, they're saying, that's how they are. I mean, you understand? Or else they're just acting tough. They're just acting like some big tough guy or woman. I approach every single day, focus upon understanding that you get away from these people, because it's never about how physically tough are you, like Conor McGregor, in terms of let's break some legs. Or is that guy wants to break everybody's legs? I understand. I mean, is that guy nice to you? I mean, he may look nice, or else he may look like he has a six-pack or something like that. I mean, guess what? Or else he may look nice in terms of shaking the person's hand before he beats him up and breaks their legs. Broshua, you must understand that he may have never done that, but it looks like he wants to. I mean, understand? Or else when he's beating your boyfriend or husband or something like that, and you have to understand how that is in the UFC. Broshua, every single day. Broshua, now, Jesus Christ never wants to get into the octagon of UFC or boxing ring, and start to punch your daughter out. I mean, because if Jesus Christ wins the fights against your daughter, I mean, you have no respect for Jesus Christ here. I mean, you have no respect over here. Because Jesus Christ won the actual physical fight over you. I understand? But if Jesus Christ never ever gets involved, I mean, if Jesus Christ never ever gets in the fight or a fist fight with your daughter or boyfriend or husband or your family, and now Jesus Christ only gives you the words of encouragement, whereas now you win respect over here. I mean, you actually start to respect Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ never hurts you in the first place. Understand? I mean, Jesus Christ is never trying to win you over, but Jesus Christ is always teaching you to win you over as well. I mean, you understand? Or now, you must understand that Jesus Christ came here to win you over, but Jesus Christ never has to win you over. Understand? I mean, guess what? I was every single day focused upon understanding that Jesus Christ wants you to follow Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ also at the same time never wants you to follow Jesus Christ. Understand? Now, Jesus Christ is both sides of the story, because if I never choose to follow Jesus Christ, I mean, Jesus Christ never cares then. Understand? But if I choose to follow Jesus Christ, I get to learn about Jesus Christ. I mean, now Jesus Christ does care about me because I'm choosing Jesus Christ. But if you never choose me, I never care about you then. I mean, go and learn about this content somewhere else. Understand? But if you care about me, I care about you. So that's how it is every single day. So focusing upon understanding that when you really want to do something every single day, you have to talk over it. You have to understand that nothing can get to you when you have powerful communication skills every single day. So focus upon lifting people and focus upon doing something that's very nice. Whereas now, when you're closing the boot or something like that, and you're opening the garage, and you're opening doors, and when you're opening and closing doors, I mean, close it slowly. I mean, close the boot slowly. I mean, close the trunk slowly. I mean, open the garage slowly. I mean, why does it have to be so hard? I mean, why do you have to slam it hard? I mean, or else why do you have to close the door so hard? I mean, understand? I mean, close it silently. I mean, do everything silently with your life. Or else if you're walking around in terms of life, I mean, walk silently. I mean, understand? I mean, why do you have to be the loudest one in the room? Or else now, if you're the loudest one in the room, or else if you're the loudest one in the room, you are in the wrong room, as somebody says. I'm sure that there's no wrong or right in life. I'm sure that you have to understand that quote. And I believe, I don't know who said that quote, but I understand either way, they may be Theodore Roosevelt. I'm sure that every single day, you must focus upon understanding that if you're the loudest in the room, I'm sure they will hate you. I'm sure they will hate you if you're the loudest in the room. So understand that Jesus Christ back in Israel is the loudest in the room. Understand? So when he's the loudest in the room, you have to focus on doing something else. And you have to go focus upon being the best version of yourself anyway, but go silently somewhere to do that. I mean, every single day, focus upon understanding your life. So when I love I every single day, I focus upon doing some confidence work and doing something on spirituality every single day and doing something to lift myself every single day, because that's something that I love to do. Or actually, it's something that I lift about. Or when I lift people every single day and I focus upon a better place and I focus upon a better time, I understand every single day that it's just momentary, that I go and lift myself all the time. Because I understand momentary is just for a lifetime. Or every single day, focus upon something that you can actually do daily, and then you understand every single day that you can go and really lift people in the process of whatever you want to do. So when you want to communicate to somebody, I mean, go communicate to them in a way that's going to lift them. I understand? So sometimes you have to understand that people never appreciate you lifting them. I mean, they'll say, fuck off, and they'll say all this negative stuff about you because you're just so positive. I mean, understand? So understand that's the crowd. So when you're lifting the crowd, or else they hate you, or else they hate you so much because you have all the success. Understand? So when you're away from the crowd, and when you lift them silently and just away from them, or else now you're much more safer. Understand? And now they hate you behind the scenes. I mean, they'll always hate you because you're something just much more famous. You're just something much more famous, or else you're much more fortunate. You have much more success. You look better than them, or else you have much more muscles than them. You just have much more success than them in all areas of life, and that's why they hate you. Or else now, if you go toward them, or else they throw rocks at you, even though you're lifting them with words. Or else now, when you're lifting them with words and you're doing your business, I mean, go and lift yourself only. I mean, focus on just lifting yourself into success much more, because that way other people are going to recognize that. And then when other people recognize that, or else eventually they want to kill you, or else eventually people want to kill you if they see that you're very successful, or should they want to kill you. I promise you. Now that's how Jesus feels. You understand? I'm sure Jesus feels like that, because what happens with Jesus Christ is Jesus Christ wants to be so successful in front of other people that other people want to kill him. You understand? And that's what happens. I understand? So every single day, just understand that. So I'm becoming much more successful over time, and then guess what? I'm staying away from people much more and more, but somebody may come and shoot me. Or else, now, guess what? Or else I'm happy to leave this world now, because what's amazing is I'm here to do my work, and you guys can always download my work for free online. So that's the whole point of my business over here, because I'm just doing Jesus Christ's work, and then understand that you guys may make me work like a slave. But guess what? I never work like a slave. I never choose to be a slave. Or else now, for example, in Egypt, in terms of the people who made the nice beautiful pyramid, or else now security guards, they were whipping them and telling them work and work and work. And now, because they were working, or as they never look at themselves as slaves anymore, or as they chose from that point on to go and do the actual pyramid, regardless of these people, or as they chose to actually work and to do it. Understand? Because understand, when somebody's forcing you to do something, I mean, guess what? You're just going to do it forcefully for yourself now. Understand? Or as when somebody wants you to go and build a pyramid and they're whipping you and they say work, and they're going to whip you anyway, and they're going to make you work. Or else now, just choose it. I mean, choose to actually do it then. Understand? Because that's something that's out of your control. I mean, when it's out of your control, you choose the situation. I mean, understand? Or as if something happens, and let's say, for example, your wife or husband or family member dies in a car accident. I mean, choose it. I mean, say, thank you very much. You say, I thank you very much. I mean, you have to choose that. I mean, if you deny that, you try to go find that individual to kill them. I mean, so realize that what's amazing is sometimes somebody may come and report you to police, and police may put you in handcuffs, regardless of what you say. But you've never done anything to, let's say, to delift anybody. You are honest, you are very innocent in this situation, but they put you in jail anyway. I mean, guess what? You go and understand Nelson Mandela, who they placed in prison, or as they placed him in prison for 27 years. I mean, and he's innocent. I mean, in a sense, so what does Nelson Mandela do here? I mean, or as Nelson Mandela tries to really benefit himself here, and he tries to really be broad about everything. And when you're broad, you're always going to communicate in a better way, and then understand every single day that you always find your way in a different way. So focus upon understanding that now, since they're innocent, or as they're going to go and lift themselves every single day in a different way, then focus upon understanding that there's always a broad, or there's always a broad way to speak about anything. So when you're focusing upon spirituality and whatever's happening around the world, you're going to focus upon lifting from that situation. Because how do you lift? Or else you must understand that you must choose that situation. You must understand that every single time you may get lost in your words. Or else that's the whole point. Or else the whole point is get lost in your words, but keep talking and then you'll figure it out. I mean, or else when you keep talking, or else you may have forgot the actual word that you want to say. But keep talking in a different way and say another word that expresses that word. I mean, connect it together, and then you'll remember that actual word or sentence that you want to say because you said it in another way. I understand? Whereas now, that's the whole point of communicational skills, is learning something for nothing. Or when I learn something for nothing, I go and really dwell upon this vocabulary for free. I do it for free, I do it for something because I can improve myself, and that's it. I mean, do it so you can improve yourself. But guess what? Or is that when something happens like this, in terms of something that's out of your control, and they do it to you, and they put you in prison like they did Lil Wayne. I mean, just understand that what's amazing is understand that most of the people, in terms of the police officers of this planet, are putting people in jail, or else they're all putting people in jail for stupid reasons. Or else now, you have to understand that when you go really dwell upon Jesus Christ, you understand that. You understand why police are the way they are. You understand that they're following certain rules, or else they're following certain rules and regulations to keep their job. Or else their job is to go against the good and to go against the bad. I mean, understand? That's how it is. Now, every single day, focus upon understanding that. They'll go against you. I mean, so every single day, they are for themselves, or else they're not on your side. I understand? Or else they're on neither side. I mean, they're just on their side. Every single day, focus upon understanding that when you're really dwelling upon something much better, you understand the crowd's over here, or else this is you, or else this is them, and or else the police is this way. Although that's the whole 4 angles of life. Now, every single day, there's only one angle of life, and it's just Jesus Christ, and then focusing upon the word I. Now, when you're lifting people in a different way, you're going to focus upon planning your life, and you're going to focus upon what can you do from this point on to make sure that you can succeed in business. And now, my business is totally just Danny Milivojevic. I promise you, it's nothing like Jeff Bezos in terms of Amazon. I mean, Jeff Bezos is more of, let's say, also a brand, but also a company in terms of Amazon. I'm pretty sure, although I'm much more of a brand than Jeff Bezos ever will be. I mean, and why is that? Because I teach much more than Jeff Bezos. I teach you much more about life and business than Jeff Bezos. I mean, so what's amazing is, yes, what's amazing is I have over 700 hours of content online, but he is yet to have a YouTube channel. I mean, so every single day, focus upon understanding that. So what's amazing is to understand that Elon Musk may do something around Mars, but understand Jesus Christ has already done that. I mean, everybody can do that right now. You never have to physically try to go do it, but what's amazing is understand that everything is happening spiritually. I'm already in Mars. I'm already somewhere beautiful every single day. I'm already eternal. I'm already doing my life much better than everybody else. So when I do that, I'm already living like Jesus Christ the best I can every single day. So focus upon understanding that you have to do your work. But 10 years ago, I was in year 12 in terms of HSC, in terms of the Australian year 12, and that's the last year of high school. And now understand from that point, I realized that I understand who I was. I understand that from that point, I understand my life went downhill. I mean, my life went downhill for the next 7 years from that point. And then recently, 3 years ago, everything changed. Or else everything was changing from 3 years ago. Whereas now I started to develop myself. I was reading from 22, but I started to give knowledge really at 25. I started to start giving like this. Or else, 3 years later, here I am, 700 hours later, giving you that knowledge. You understand? So time does go quick, but I have 700 hours of my videos. Understand? Isn't that beautiful when you have 1 billion hours of yourself on a video camera? Isn't that beautiful? Of course, that's the most remarkable event. So what's amazing is focus upon understanding that, for example, with my Instagram, I realized that sometimes I had to delay Instagram uploading. So I have to delay sometimes 24 hours doing something of my Mega Drive so that I can do something different because something else is much more important than that subject. Although what's amazing is understand that, for example, just before I came here, I have to brand myself over here. I have to do some nice, beautiful fashion photos. I have to do some beautiful fashion photos here. I understand although that it's cold, and now when it's cold, I understand I'm always speaking over everything, and now I'm always understanding that I can always handle this, for example, or else I can handle the coldness here. But I understand every single day that, for example, I have to do this life coaching video, but I understand the life coaching video is going to help people so much in terms of words, or else that now, since I have to catch up with my branding photos, I'd rather do this and delay my branding photos. Do you understand? So that's the kind of situation that I have in my Mega Drive. Or else now, I can be doing anything in terms of right now. I can be doing music production, I can be doing comedy, I can be doing acting, I can be doing my life coaching videos, I can be doing travel photos, I can be going to Port Stephens, I can be going to Port Macquarie, I can also be doing branding photos here. I can also be talking to other people if I choose to. But what's amazing is I never try to choose to talk to other people, I just make them talk to me. In a sense, so that's the whole point that's the whole point with my life, where I can go and dwell upon life, but then I can also go to Sydney and start building my busking performances right away. In a sense, so I have all these angles, but I just have to do one aspect of life right now. I can also write in my journal right now. I can do writing in my quotes. I can start reading on YouTube, and I can start updating myself around the world. I have so many tasks. I have so many aspects of life that I must do, but this is the far most important for me today. In a sense, so I'm always doing the best for first. I realize what's the, out of 20 stuff that you can do, in terms of 20 goals that you can do, what's your most important one, and do that daily. Do that in terms of everything, in terms of before you do anything else. Since every single day, focus upon understanding that this life coaching video, I have to do it every day. I have to do it every day because it's something that makes me successful, guaranteed. Whereas now, when I guarantee it, I guarantee that this video makes me much more successful. I love that. Whereas now, why is that? Because I'm on video camera. I'm doing my work. I'm doing my business. And now, either way, that yes, I can do music production after this video. I can do anything I want after this video. But I have to do this right now because this is the most important for me. I have to be able to do this because if I do music production, I didn't miss out on a day of doing live coaching videos. But I can do a live coaching video here, and then what happens is, then I can do my music production. But if I do my music production, I then may miss out on my video. So what's amazing is I never want to miss out on anything. So I focus upon going and collecting everything I have and putting into one video and putting everything into one day so I can enjoy the whole process of living life to the fullest. Although, for example, let's say you want to do something in life. You must understand that, let's say you're a individual who goes to hostels or motels or something in terms of parties or something, and you have a bed. Go and place something on that bed so that it's yours. Just make it obvious that somebody is really, really sleepy there, for example, so that nobody goes and tries to grab your spot. So what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that you can go and hog stuff. If you love a portable speaker so much, hog it for yourself until somebody asks for it. If you love one spot at a busking event, hog it for the whole day until somebody asks you to move. That's how simple it is. But when they ask you to move, just move. Understand? Why is that? Because you're sharing. You have to be sharing. But if you never want to share and you say no, or as now, guess what? Or as if you say no, or as then you're saying no to yourself for an opportunity to go somewhere else and to also share for yourself. You have to understand every single day, focus upon sharing with other people everything that you have. Share with them your phones and portable speakers and communication signals and everything. But understand that I have to stay away from people as much as I can. So you're probably, and maybe an individual who goes around your family and who goes around the people of your community. So what I suggest every single day is focus upon getting away from that. I mean, focus upon getting away from your family and from other people in your community so that you can understand how to step up for yourself and so that you can understand how to travel and be an entrepreneur and be someone who's traveling the world and free. I mean, in a sense, every single day, I'm focusing upon understanding that there's always something more I can do, but I'm focusing on understanding that I have to go really now. I understand every single day that it's getting cold around here. I understand every single day that when I really do this video, I can do it for 1 hour, or else then I can move scenarios. Whereas now, every single day, understand that what's amazing, or as what's amazing, is understanding that you can always do 1 hour video and then move somewhere else and never come back to the place that's really cold or something. I can really feel the actual wind blowing around here. Although I understand it's just an alleyway, but the alleyway has a wind just pushing this way. Every single day, focus upon understanding that you're lifting yourself, but never be afraid to go skydiving and to be in front of sharks and to be in front of crocodiles and to be in front of all these places. So focus upon understanding that you go and experience the best life you can every single day, because that's the whole point of your life. I promise you, the whole point of your life is making sure that you can communicate every single day and coach people differently every single day in a best manner that you can, because that's the whole point of living life to the fullest. Now, yes, I promise you that women or men may have somebody else physically, and they may have all these women and men having sex with them physically. But understand, it's never about what Jesus Christ in terms of that. You must understand that it's more about Jesus Christ, but understand that Jesus Christ never goes to that, or else Jesus Christ never goes to have sex with other people and all that. So never be shaming yourself upon the physical aspects of life, because that's all physical when a guy has 100 women having sex with him, or a woman has 50,000 men just having sex with her. I mean, understand, because they're just putting all their time and effort into that. I mean, understand, I mean, that's draining in them of life. I mean, when 50,000 people are having sex with you, I mean, guess what, or else one each have sex with you, and then guess what, or else they'll never talk to you again. I mean, they'll never talk to you again. I mean, is that what you want? I mean, is that what you want in terms of promiscuous sex? Because they'll have sex with you, I mean, and then they'll never talk to you again. I mean, understand? I mean, that's it. Rush it. I mean, just for a fuck, and that's it. I mean, guess what? I mean, go and find yourself a life so that you can go and help people, so they understand that they never have to touch you in the first place. And then understand that what's amazing from that point is that you're just lifting people like Jesus Christ, and then understand that, or is that way, you feel much more that you care about yourself, you understand? Because when you're going around having sex with all these people and just doing masturbation all day, and then you're doing something that you really, really, let's say, I'm always somebody who loves my eye, but I understand that every single day I realize that when you're doing something of pleasure seeking, that you're really never helping yourself in the process of time, because pleasure seeking really goes quick. Or else if you're just banging a woman or man for 8 hours a day, that's your time, or that's time. So every single, let's say, 1 hour of the day is 15 days of the year. I mean, you understand? So over 72 years, or else it's 15 days of the year. I mean, you understand? So focus upon understanding that your life is much more credible when you go and really, really invest your time in a better place than seeking pleasure from other people. Because seeking pleasure from other people never really reacts to you in a better way. Now, anything that reacts to you in a better way is something that really, really lifts you. Now, when you're lifting your people every single day and you're focusing upon leadership, I always love my eye. Every single day, focus upon understanding that you talk over everything, and then focus upon going and loving your life. That's the whole point. The whole point is make sure you're taking care of you physically, or else now, make sure that you're taking care of yourself physically, because what's important is understanding that when you're getting colder with your hands, or when your hands are always cold and your body is always cold, or as now you're actually catching a sickness. So make sure you understand that when it's really cold, or else when it's really cold outside and you're sleeping in the snow, you will catch a virus, or you get so sick. So understand that you can get physically sick. So when wind is always blowing at you, and it's very cold, and you can feel your hands cold, I mean, start really, really moving on from that situation. I mean, go somewhere else. So for myself, I understand either way that I can really understand every single day that when I lift myself from this situation, I never again go somewhere where it's, let's say, cold. So I only ever do it once, and that's it. I mean, in a sense, once I move on from that, it's just one scenario. So this is one scenario where it may be cold, but guess what? Or else I go somewhere else where it's in the sun or something like that, where it's in the shade. I never go in the sun because the sun is too hot. Now, sometimes when you go in the shade, it's too cold, and when you go in the sun, it's too hot. Now, you have to find the medium. You have to understand indoors is the best way to do videos, but understand either way that what's amazing is sometimes when you're traveling, you have to go around hostels. I mean, sometimes you have to get around places. Or else now, when you understand affordability, you understand what I mean. A person now, a millionaire or a billionaire may laugh at me in terms of how I travel around the world at a hostel and stuff like that. Or else they may laugh at me because they maybe grew up in a rich family in terms of financially. And now guess what? Or else now, because they're financially rich, you have to understand I'm much more better than them in spirituality, and I'm much more younger than them, and I have much more better everything than them. I'm better looking too. Or every single day you must focus upon understanding that when I really lift people, I'm lifting people through my communication skills. I'm lifting you. So when I lift people, I'm always lifting myself in the process, and that's the whole point of being somebody who's vibing with your life. So when you're vibing with your life, I mean, focus upon understanding that there's always something to talk about. So you're always planning your life ahead of you, because that's the whole point of your life. Or it's just making sure that you're talking in a different way, something about what you love to do, but then go and do a podcast every single day about something that you love to do. And this is a podcast, or this is a video topic about something. Or now, did I name this video yet? Or should no? Or should I just go and speak and speak and speak, and then I name the video once I finish with it? Because then I have the overall capacity to see exactly the best scenario for this video. Or now, if I name the video from the start, I can start speaking about that. But then it's the same scenario. I can name it whenever. I understand. Or now every single day, or else if you teach somebody how to crucify somebody, go and teach people how Jesus Christ is on that cross. Every single day, focus upon understanding that no matter what you're doing, you can always lift yourself, you can always encourage yourself, you can always go and ask yourself questions in the video. Since when you're asking questions in the video, you understand why. You can also grow with yourself in the process, and then you understand every single day you're going to learn these nice, beautiful tactics and skills to be alone. Because understand, I've been traveling 1 year and 3 months, and my biological dad and mother and family and people from the past have never came with me to travel with me around Australia. I've seen most of Australia. Guess what? That now, since I do everything that I do, or else I make sure I'm always processing that information in a better way, but I'm giving you my experience. I'm giving you something that is my totality of who I am, so that I can help you and guide you for information, so that you can go and be the best life coach in the planet also. In a sense, every single day, focus upon my communicational skills, and then you're going to be someone great, because I'm great. I'm greatness. I choose to be great. In a sense, so when you're around great people like Danny Milivojevic, just understand that he will lead you, and he will have everything that he has right now to make sure that you're always understanding him in a way that you can go and really speak in third person as well, or else that's third person, but understand that he wants you to understand that when you're doing something, or when you're doing something that's really going to be foundational in your life, or there's always a better way that Danny can do it. So understand when Danny can do something, go and focus upon understanding what Danny can do, and then understand every single day, you understand why Danny does what he does. In a sense, so every single day, focus upon being much more interesting with yourself, and then understand every single day, focus upon understanding how to talk with yourself all day long, and focus upon all the different communicational tactics that you can give. There's only one leadership trait, and it's your ability to grow, and that's it. That's it. Forget these Democrat and politic and whatever. Kazakhstan or whatever. Every single day, you must focus upon understanding that whatever you want, you can achieve it as long as you help yourself to do it. As long as you help yourself to go, make sure that everybody is prospering around you, and you're doing something to never hate the world but love everything, and understand Zig Ziglar's quote, where you can understand that when you give other people what they want, you will get what you want. So understand that it's more, give them the actual ideas that they need and solve their problems, so that then you can solve your problems and give yourself that exactly in terms of what you want. So when you're giving them what they want, you're actually giving yourself what you want. In a sense, so understand that the first boundary of fame and legacy and a better life is making sure that you're going in front of people and doing a live performance. So when I was growing up, I understand I was doing a live performance as well. I was doing a live performance at the Talent Quest in Year 6. I won the actual Talent Quest. I came first. And now, did I plan to come first? I never planned to come first. I was practicing. I was doing everything, and I just gave my best performance. I just went to be in front of a crowd. I was never in competition with anybody. Or they just chose me to be first. Do you understand? So I just understand in a way that it's a nice, beautiful way to say that you can go wherever you want, but understand it's never a competition with other people, or else it's a competition with yourself in the process. But never try to hurt other people. Try to lift people. Or now, when you're understanding that what's amazing is there is never a winner and a loser, or it's just you understanding how to go about life greater. So every single day, focus upon understanding that when you're a winner, you make everybody else a winner. But when you're a winner and somebody else is a loser, you then lose a friend for life. Whereas now, when you are a winner who's helping encourage people to be winners, you're always a winner. But if you're a winner and other people are hating you because you're a winner and you're encouraging them to be a winner, but they go and kill you, whereas now, you win again. Whereas now, if you're a winner and they hate you, but they really hate you, you must understand that either way, you must go and lead them, and you must go and hate. You never hate. Whereas now, you must understand to never hate, but understand to go and lift everybody, and that way you're always going to be a winner in the process. You're always going to be a winner in the process because you understand how to lift people, because communicational skills. Whereas now, communicational skills is what I do. I do these communicational techniques to help you and to persuade you and to inspire you to come and be much more like Jesus Christ, because that's what I'm becoming much more like every single day. So understand every single day that the only information of the world is Jesus Christ. And the only information of Jesus Christ is the word I. Whereas now, you have to understand that now I'm my own guru because of that. I understand I'm something much more now who can teach you all of that, because there's so much information I can give you about just that sentence. I understand, so it's unlimiting, or it's eternal that I can speak about this. In a sense, that's something I'm passionate about. But understand either way that there's only 24 hours in a daytime, but make sure you're staying away from the cold, and understand that as you get much more wiser and much more in age, that the more cold it gets around you, you have to start being indoors much more. I mean, understand? So focus on the 1 hour rule, which is 23 hours of the day stay indoors, and 1 hour of the day just go to the shops. You know, I mean, understand? So anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. But what's important is just focus on growth and love yourself.